Jai Hind and good morning to all of you. Today we shall be starting up with the last poem of your syllabus for class 8, right? And it is a poem by John Keats, very famous and renowned poet who left us at a tender age of 21 years old, right? He was only 21 when he left, if sources are to be believed, as there is a conflict between his age. Either it is 24 or 23 or 21. But mostly what is reported is he left us at the age of 21, right? Okay, so let us begin this poem. This poem is about nature, if I have to give you a backdrop on the grasshopper and cricket. If you pay attention, this grasshopper is a kind of, like species of insect. Have you seen it? What is the color of the grasshopper?
Green.
Right.
Mandy.
And when we look at cricket, it is another species of the insect family only. How does it look? It also looks green. Have you seen what are the Hindi terms for these two creatures? If you know in case. Do you know? Grasshopper?
Hindi term for it is cricket.
Who is saying this Hindi term for? No, no, it is not that. It is like, if I have to use the English term, what have I written? Data. And if I have to quote, and what about then this cricket? It is called as jigur. If you have not heard these terms, so just for your humble information, in case if it is referred as a different noun in your native language, then that is another thing. All right. So these two creatures are seen to be embracing the joy, the beauty of nature, irrespective of the season. Right. Unlike the ant and the cricket, page number 21, which tells the story this is a nature poem. In it, the grasshopper and cricket do not appear as characters in a story, rather, they act as symbols. They act as symbols, each suggesting something else. Read the poem and notice how the poetry of earth keeps on through summer and winter in a never ending song. Who sings the song? This much is understood as the intro. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
John Keats himself was one such poet who, unlike other poets, not only took pleasure and drafted his poem based on a single specific season, which is mostly celebrated by several and numerous poets, which is that season
Spring.
राइट जब बसंत की ऋतु आती है बसंत पंचमी हमने अभी मनाया है ना एम आई राइट
Yes, ma'am.
so this season is much celebrated, but John Keats is one such poet who actually embraces earth, its beauty in terms of nature, in all its form. It's not the one season which here is pampered, loved, embraced by poet, but it is everything about earth, be it a summer season, be it a winter season. Poet has appreciation for every season. Right, so let's begin the poem. The poetry of earth is never dead. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun and hide in cooling trees, a voice will run from hedge to hedge about the new mown men. That is the grasshoppers. He takes the lead He takes the lead in summer luxury. He has never done with his delights. He has never done with his delights. For when tired out with fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. I need not to tell you what is a weed. It is an unwanted grass, right? You all know this. So here, on the grasshopper and cricket, it is a nature poem by John Keats, right? And this poem is basically expressing the love of the poet for nature. On the contrary, basically, through this poem, the poet is appreciating the natural things which we see in nature, right? And it is also taken as a commentary on life. Through this poem, by the description of wonderful nature, poet is also commenting on life. So nature's poetry is passed down from bird to grasshopper. What do we see in this first stanza? Here, the poetry of earth is never ended. It means the poem, the beauty of earth, it never fades away, and the creatures are seen celebrating this beauty ever going on mode. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun, when there is a summer hot season, then all the birds which actually are seen to be chirping, to be enjoying, to be singing, right? But when usually sun appears to be very hot, what do? They hide in the shade of cool trees, right? So when there is complete hotness and not a single bird is seen to be doing, singing anything, a voice is heard. A voice is heard wait, from one end to another, and this voice is that of the creature grasshopper, right? He takes the lead, he starts singing, he starts making. Basically, a grasshopper is never seen to be singing any song, so it is actually the sound. Do they make any sound, grasshopper? You might be familiar with the sound which we usually heard in monsoon season. Are you aware? Have you experienced?
Yes, ma'am.
है ना, होता है ना, हमें एक आवाज सुनाई देती रहती है when there is complete stillness, and still you can identify so many different voices coming, right? And you can easily identify that it is some, maybe some uh, what, maybe some frog, maybe some mina, maybe some other sometimes lizard too. Have you heard the sound of a lizard, home lizard?
No, ma'am.
Wow, who's saying no? Then you aren't a giant observer. Do observe this. It usually happens. I have so many at my home, and every night I hear a few bit of lines every night. Right. So here, what is happening? That here, the grasshopper takes the lead in the hot summer season when the birds are tired, they are not singing. Grasshopper starts making sound, and he does so delightfully. He is not at all tired. He would do complete 24/7. But what happens when he gets tired, right? For when tired out with fun, जब वो sound produce करते करते, nature को appreciate करते करते वो थक जाता है, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. So he also lies down under some long grown grasses and takes a break, right? Is it clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, the second stanza begins. The poetry of earth is ceasing never. It is unending poetry. It is not going to be over, right? There is no end point. On a lone winter evening when the frost, what do you mean by frost? Anybody? Look up. Have you seen snow? Is there
Yes, ma'am.
foggy? Is there foggy? When you get up early in the morning, do you see a white blanket of snow, which actually, we cannot able we are not able to see anything through that thing. Even if houses, neighboring houses, maybe sometimes it's so bad, right? So the frost is
Yes, ma'am.
depicting the snow. So on a lone winter evening, in winters are full of snow and frost. When the frost has wrought a silence, is there are winters dull, cold, साइलेंट? सर्दियों के दिन शाम में कैसे लगते हैं? चुपचाप सन्नाटा रहता है ना? Nobody is seen to be wandering around, or no such sound of, until and unless there is some function in your locality. Now, like nowadays, what is happening in my neighborhood? Huge decks and huge music loudspeaker are being played like crazy. If I wish to record anything, I am not, simply not. So, coming back to the poem, on a lone winter evening when there is complete stillness, not a single sound is heard, right? From the stone, shrills, from the stone, shrills, मतलब कि अब stones के पीछे से, stones में से, there is a sound which can be heard, which is that of the cricket song in warmth, increasing ever. So, in winters also, when the birds behave as they are not at all, they are not at all found singing or appreciating or making any voice song. So, they also are doing some rest. They are almost behaving as if they are dead. But that moment, crickets here is seen into picture. He sings a song, and it seems to one in drowsiness half lost, the grasshoppers among some grassy hills. So, the warmth that had been lost is restored by the cricket song. वो जो सर्दियों में लोग एकदम ठंडे पड़े रहते हैं, और कोई भी, like there is no choppiness in the nature, maybe in the atmosphere, but all of a sudden this song made by cricket, it gives a sudden melodious joy to people, and they believe that it is not the cricket, but who is singing the song? The grasshopper, like he does in summers. All right, they take it to be the grasshoppers, but actually it is not the grasshopper, it is the cricket. Okay, clear? Eh?
Yes.
So, if we have to analyze the poem
Yes, ma'am.
from different ways, I would like to highlight few more things, which is, uh, it is already mentioned in the beginning itself that Grasshopper and the Cricket is not a story poem. We have a similar poem, The Ant and the Cricket. Do you remember, where these two creatures are characters? It is a story. Something has happened to Cricket. Now he is in some situation and he runs toward the ant for some help. Do you remember even? Right. So, contrary to that, contrast to that, this poem on the grasshopper and cricket, it is not a story poem. Here, the grasshopper is a symbol. It is standing for the sweltering summer, right? It is standing for the summer season, and cricket is a symbol of harsh winter. Okay? When the cricket is singing, it is denoting the season of winter. Every poet has found enormous beauty and poetry in spring and excellent weather, right? The thing which I have discussed earlier here, that is the point that I would like to reiterate, मैं दोबारा बोलना चाहूंगी, that यहाँ पे spring season में सबको बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता है, and most of the poems are, like set in the backdrop of a spring season. But here, Keats seem to be appreciating earth, its chilly winter, its hot summer together, right? He is very different. He finds nature beautiful in all seasons, right, including the summer and the winter. Clear? Usually,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
what we have seen in hot summers, earth is always, it always appears to be so pleasing, singing. The birds stop singing in the hot summer, right? They get fainted, they get tired, and at that time grasshopper, it takes the lead, and he's seen to be. Does a grasshopper fly? Does a cricket fly? Can they fly?
No, ma'am. It is jump.
Are? So is it a what should I say? Is it a reptile? Are these two reptile? No, these two can fly. Does a housefly fly or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Then
Yes, ma'am.
similarly, are these two?
Insect.
Yeah, which can jump. Basically, cricket can jump, but the grasshopper, they can fly, right? And that is the reason he takes the lead. फ्रॉम हेज टू हेज का मतलब है कि एक एक तरीके से अगर कोई नेचर का कोई भी एस्पेक्ट बताया जा रहा है, तो वो एक अगर फॉरेस्ट का अगर एक सिरा है, सो ही विल कवर फ्रॉम हेज टू हेज. हु? द ग्रास हॉपर, right? So yes, it covers, it's seen flying from hedge to hedge. And what do? They sing delightfully, they are enjoying themselves, they sing without any, as if they have, abundance of energy, and in process of that they appears to be tireless. But when they feel like to take a breath, they do relaxes, they rest. How do they rest? They rest under some weed, right? That is how the summer is taking place with the grasshopper. I hope now this is quite clear to all,
Yes,
right?
Yes,
but
ma'am.
but when we look at when we look at cold winters, again the season depicts extreme chilliness, right? So birds also, they are also singing, but a moment comes when there is complete stillness, silence, and winter becomes super cold. So the earth, it express, in a way the earth also is doing some job here. The earth also expresses its pleasure through different beings. एक जो being है, being मतलब one creature, and a bird, if the bird has become silent, then somebody else is into action. On a frosty winter day, there seems to be utter silence. अगर बहुत snowy वाला day है, तो वहां पे हमें बहुत क्या समझ में आएगा? That there is complete silence, right? But then that stillness, that silence is broken from the trees and from the stones. How? A cricket, now a cricket is appreciating. He is singing a song, and his song seems to be creating so much of warmth in the hearts of people. People hear it in their houses, right? And to someone who is half asleep, right? If people are lying in their houses and they're half slept, they may assume it to be what? What they may assume, that it is not the cricket, but it is the grasshopper which is singing in this such a chilly weather, right? So on this note, the song, this poem actually ends, right? I hope that this is clear to all of you. Is it?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right. So working with the poem, uh, wait a second. Discuss with your partner the following definition of a poem. A poem is made of words arranged in a beautiful order. These words, when read aloud with feelings, have a music and meaning of their own. Yeah, so it is a discussion based thing. We need not to take up, like, you can read and you can definitely always have pleasant discussions on a poem structure. Yeah, and this poem is a sonnet. I forgot to tell you. This poem is a sonnet. It is a sonnet is always a 14 lines long structure. ठीक है? Can you identify the rhyme scheme if there is any? Go for it.
Eat,
Wait.
spark, food, and
No, not this way. You may observe it first and then come up with a rhyming scheme. Rhyming scheme I'm saying. Rhyming scheme वो एक आपको पता चलेगी. What is the rhyme scheme of this stanza and then what is the rhyme scheme of this stanza? Take your time in a minute and we shall be discussing with that part also. Wait.
Start the working ABC.
Wait. Let me wait for the for the span which I have given. If you look at the first four lines, so A B B A. This is the rhyme scheme which is going on. Yes or no? Right? And what is the rhyme scheme for the second stanza?
It is ABC.
Where it is ABC? First or second? All right, so see, this is the rhyme scheme for this stanza, right? And if we look at the second stanza, so here this never, it is another sound. Okay, so takes it as C and then frost, altogether different sound. So it is D, right? Shrills, another one. So E. And then same thing, never ever. C, frost lost. D, and shrills hills E. C D E C D E. C D E C D E. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So I hope this poem is understood and clear by all of you. Do attend the this question homework. This question homework, good question, take it up. Fourth one also. फिफ्थ वन ऑल्सो सारे के सारे ही अच्छे हैं आप इसको कर सकते हो फाइंड आउट ऑलराइट एंड देन आई विल बी taking up the last posters and slogans in my next. Thank you so much. Have a nice day ahead.